Hey, welcome back. So it's been kind of a interesting week. Um, as I mentioned last week, I have had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday instead of Thursday. Today's Friday, late Friday. So I had a doctor's appointment on Tuesday. He removed the last of the stitches in my back, and he told me, "Go forth, ride your bike." So I will be riding the motorcycle, but we've had a low pressure area on the came up through just north of Mindanao, crossed over the Philippines in the Visayas. That's the island south of Luzon. And then we had another low pressure area that was hot on its heels, and it went to the right side. So one went west, one went east, and Luzon was right in the middle. Yeah, we finally got some rain, and I'll show you those clips in a minute. It rained, but the doctor told me, go forth and ride. Yes, that would be really good, but I don't want to get familiar with the motorcycle in the rain. Thank you very much. I'm kind of a fair weather rider, and I've only ridden this motorcycle really one time, and that was back on March 3rd. And when I did that, I ripped stitches out of my back, and the doctor says, don't do that again. I says, yes, sir. Yeah, and those stitches, because they were ripped, the wound has a crater in the middle where the stitches ripped and didn't pull the skin back together. Healed north and south of there, but not right in the center. So I've been trying to be a good boy, not ride, but yeah, tomorrow I'm going to get the bike out. I'm going to give it a good bath because it has not been started since March 3rd. I hope it'll start. I haven't even tried. Part of the reason is back in February, a friend of mine from back in the States, and I knew him before I came over here. He's married to a Filipina. She lives on Samar Island. And in February, he and his wife he was over here, and he and his wife were in Manila. They were taking care of some visa things, marriage recognition things, whatever, so that she can get to the U.S. And it's a long process. Believe me, anything with the Philippines, there's a lot of bureaucracy. So he decided that they would ride up here on a scooter, and it took almost 4 hours to get here. Poor guys, both of them. I mean, I love them to death, but I don't envy them having to ride up here. So when they finally did get up here, it was getting late in the day. It was already dark, and I thought, well, I'll show them the motorcycle. So I went out, started it up, showed them, and everything. Well, we were going to dinner, and then they were going to stay at the hotel where we were having dinner. It's Poppy's Bar and Grill. Did an interview with Eric from Poppy's, and I've been there many times and love their food, love the people, love Eric and Mercy. They're just great people. And Drake, who owns the Drake Hotel, he's funny. A few times I've got a chance to meet him. He's been great. They decided they were going to stay there. So they got here. I started the bike. I showed them everything. And then we needed to get to dinner before it got any later because, hey, they just spent a long time in traffic getting up here. And they weren't able to take the expressway. They were on like a 175cc scooter, or maybe it was 155. I don't know. It's a scooter. And it's not eligible to get on the expressway. You got to have 400 cc's to do that. So I jumped in the car. They grabbed the scooter. We headed to dinner. Next day, I was looking for my keys to the motorcycle. I don't know where the keys went. And I asked my wife, I says, did you move the keys? She says, no, I didn't even see them. Well, I thought that I'd thrown them on the table. I only have one key to the side boxes on my motorcycle. I have two keys to the top box, the one in the back, and I have two ignition keys, but I only have one side box key. So basically, without those keys, my side box, my side boxes are just there for baggage. I mean, they're just there extra space. So anyway, I was trying to contact locksmiths recently because I knew I was going to get released pretty soon. And I got to get those bags open, replace the locks, whatever I've got to do. I doubt they could make a key because they're laser cut nowadays. And you pretty much have to have the pattern to get that done. So I was just kind of in a dilemma about what to do about the side boxes. I was even looking into maybe buying new side boxes, and those get a little expensive. So I started having trouble with the car. I know I'm jumping around, but it'll all come together. Trust me. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, stop and go traffic, and that's everywhere in the Philippines. When I would slow down or stop, and then I'd start to go again, I'd hear a clunk. It's light and it's faint, but I'm pretty tuned to this car, and it wasn't normal. And this has started here about 2 weeks ago, and I didn't know quite what was going on with it. Well, the car's way overdue for an oil change. I got the car last May. It's May. Okay, so what, 2 weeks short of a full year that I've had it. So it was overdue for an oil change. And I found a shop that came pretty highly recommended through some friends of mine. They said, "Oh, go there, that they got decent prices and no skin tax." So I contacted them. They says, "Yeah, just come on in whenever, no appointment needed." So yesterday, Thursday, I drove down there. Now, we've been getting some rain. Oh boy, when it rains, it pours. And on the way there yesterday, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it was raining so hard I couldn't see the end of my hood. I mean, that's a tropical downpour. So I finally found them and everything, took it in for an oil change. And I told the guy, I says, "Hey, can you do an inspection of my suspension and steering? Because something isn't right there." He says, "Yeah, we'll get on it." Well, they did the oil change and did an engine flush. I paid a little bit extra for the engine flush because the car's got 72,000 kilometers on it. I don't know what condition it is. So 72,000, little over 50,000 miles on it. I didn't want to do the math. 52,000, maybe, I don't know. It's 2018. Anyway, I had the flush done. They filled all my fluids, checked everything, stuff. Great. Oh, awesome. The price really wasn't that much. It was $4,300. That's a lot, right? That's about $80. But that was full inspection of the car and everything else too. So he comes back to me. He says, "Sir, come out here and we'll show you what we found." I went out there and the sway bar link, the bushings were blown out of it. And I thought, no, that would cause a clunk. And the end link to the rack and pinion steering on the left side, it was wobbly. And also the lower ball joint. I thought, oh boy, okay. I says, "Can you get the parts?" And he says, "Yeah, let me check." And he says, "I can have the parts here tomorrow." I said, "Okay, I'll bring it back tomorrow." So today I went down there and they went through the whole thing. And then they took it over and got it aligned. And that was $11,840, about 200 and something dollars. Yeah, I'm starting to really blow my budget here, right? But when they did that, they noticed that the upper strut control links on the strut, because it doesn't mount just directly to the frame. It's got kind of a complicated, Honda does things a little different. Anyway, those were bad also. He says, "That's where your clunk's coming from." He says, "As you compress that," he says, "and then you start to go and it expands." He says, "That's the clunk." And he pulled down on the car and then pushed it up a little bit, and you could hear just a really faint clunk. So yeah, anyway, it says, "Well, you better replace those. Can you get the parts?" He says, "Yes, sir." There's another 5,120 pesos, almost another $100, right? Yeah. So all told, past 2 days, 21,260 pesos, which comes out to $386.50. I did the math. It's nice to have your own car, but when the maintenance man comes knocking at your door, yeah, be prepared to pay. So I'm getting back to the story I started with the motorcycle. While I was in the waiting room, I put my iPod AirPods in so that I didn't disturb everybody while I played games and watched videos. And I was there quite a while. I was there from 9:30 this morning until 2:30 this afternoon. It's not that they were slow; they had a lot of work to do. Excuse me, I had to cough. So, and then they found the upper mounting. I think what they call that, shock mounting. Okay, that's just what they call it. Shock mounting was bad, so they had to order those and had to get them delivered and stuff. So that took time. Plus, they have their lunch from 12 to 1, so I had to sit there. But there were other customers that were sitting there in the waiting room, comfortable waiting room, nice fish tanks and things. You sit and watch the fishies swim through the aquariums and stuff. But I had my AirPods in, and I noticed that they were starting to fade out a little bit. I thought, it's been a while since I charged them. Well, when I get home, I'll charge them up. So I got home, and we didn't get any rain today. Okay. Anyway, I finally got home. It's almost 4 o'clock when I got home. Let's see. It was about 3:30 when I got home. It takes about 50 minutes to go 12 kilometers. That's MacArthur Highway, especially on a Friday afternoon. So I got home and I thought, well, I better find my lightning cable because I have an Android and it takes Type C, and the AirPod takes lightning. So I was digging through my man purse, my bag, and I knew that I had a cable in there, a lightning cable. And I started to pull it out and it was tangled onto something. Well, as I was pulling it out, I guess my side boxes can be opened now. I feel like an idiot. I guess that when my friend and his wife were here, it was getting late. I just locked the door and threw my keys in my bag and jumped in the car and took off. In my mind, I brought them in, set them on the table. So, apologies went out to my wife, says, oh, I'm sorry. I asked you, I accused you of maybe throwing them away or something because, she didn't really think that it was a good idea for me to get the bike. So, what am I supposed to think? They're missing. I don't know where they're at. Anyway, yeah, I got that. So let me show you the rain and everything. And tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to get out and do some washing of the bike. And we'll be all good to go. I'm going to try and get some two-wheel therapy this weekend. I like to try this new Bell helmet out. I brought 3 helmets with me from the U.S. They're all Harley Davidson helmets. Yeah, I don't know. Me and Harley Davidson's, whatever. Anyway, but I've got a Bell helmet that came with this bike, and along with a brand new pair of gloves, brand new rain jacket. I need to get all that and try it all on because, hey, I'm going to be doing some two-wheel therapy. I had ordered a phone mount through Lazada. Yesterday, while I was at the repair shop or on the way to the repair shop, the Lazada delivery driver, well, he doesn't deliver for Lazada. He's an express driver, and Lazada contracts out through his company to deliver their stuff. Whatever. Anyway, he had tried to call me. Well, I'm driving, and I don't hear my phone. Even if he called, I probably couldn't talk to him anyway because I'm in driving. And I don't text, I don't call, I don't talk on the phone when I'm driving. Not here. It's 110% pay attention. So I got to the repair shop and I was going through and I thought, oh, I missed a phone call. It's a 63 area code or country code, and that's Philippines. And I tried to call the number back. He didn't answer. So then I checked my text. Oh, your delivery driver is on his way. Okay, well, I don't check my text either, not when I'm driving. Anyway, yeah, I'm trying to see if they'll bring that back because I really need that phone holder for two reasons. Number one, I can keep it vertical and I can use that for navigation. And then if I want to record some traveling videos, I can rotate it horizontally, landscape, and I can show you what I see. I don't know if it'll come again or if I got to order again. I'll find out maybe tomorrow or Monday. Anyway, but for right now, just buzzing up and down MacArthur Highway and, maybe doing some turns and maybe go over to the mall or something. Dog needs some dog food, whatever. Then I'll get some two-wheel therapy while I do that. But I need to try everything on, make sure the helmet fits, make sure the gloves fit, make sure the rain suit fits. I'm kind of a white body, I'm not typical Filipino, I may not be able to fit into it, it may be a little snug on my body. All right, guys, here's some clips of our rain showers we got. Remember, we're in the tropics, and man, here in the tropic, when it rains, it pours. Catch y'all later. Finally get some rain. Good old thunder and lightning. And look inside here. That's the only light on in the house. I'm very grateful for the architect and the builder of this house for putting this emergency light in here. Otherwise I wouldn't have any light. Yeah, power's out. But this is a pretty substantial storm here. See all the lightning going on. Here a little while ago, it sounded like a freight train running over the house. Just, yeah, thanks, Phil. Just how much rumbling it was doing. Alright, well, cooled off a little bit, thank goodness, because no aircon with no power. Alright, well, we really needed this. We've been hot and dry, and there's a low pressure, actually two low pressure systems that are circling around the Philippines right now. One is just off the Bicol region. If you look at the island of Luzon, the big island, you'll see a tail going south out of it. That's Bicol down there, and Invest 90W is sitting there. We had another one cut through Visayas, and it's up off the west coast. So I've basically got one on both sides of me. I got one southeast of me and one that's southwest of me. So this is the aftermath of that. But hey, I could really use that. Hey, light show. You can barely see my plants down here. They could really use the water. Yep, good old Mother Nature's watering is a lot better than what I get them out of my hose. Alright, fun and games. I love it. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be in the rainy season, but we're still in our dry season, believe it or not. And this is the first substantial rain we've had in, a few months. So, these lights are flashing down there. Trying to figure out what's going on here. Can't even see them on here. No. Alright. Well, I'm gonna. Oh, power's back on. Yay! Yeah, we don't lose power very often here. It's pretty stable. I just thought I'd show you the little shower out here. Oh, I'm happy. Of course, we don't get flooding here either, so it can rain all at once. I love it. Hi guys, I'm out. So I said the power came on. It was on for about 4 minutes, and lightning hit just right over in this way. Got a transformer. Kaboom! Well, that was a heck of a bang. So, yeah, anyway, the rain's kind of backed off now. Everything's just running off. So we should hear the scooters start up here again pretty soon. But I don't know how long our power's going to be out. Like I said, with the lightning hitting that transformer. That was quite the bang. And now the rain's starting to pick up a little bit. I can hear it starting to hit out all the houses. It's coming this way. Yeah. So we normally have really reliable power here. Yeah, you can hear it coming this way. This thing's coming down the street. We normally have really good power here. In fact, all of Televastagen, Angelus Electric Company, AEC, usually is pretty good with us, but there's no predicting when lightning's going to hit a transformer. And the house we were renting last year, that was the only power outage we had, is lightning hit the transformer right behind our house. Yeah, it woke us up. It shook all the windows and everything else. So anyway, just, like I say, you choose your area to live in. I can't really complain about this. Yeah, I know I did about the dogs barking and stuff, but that's, I just figured I was on a rant, might as well rant about everything, but it's mainly for the people that don't live here, what to expect. You know, I mean, I knew what to expect, but yeah, lightning's getting a little bit more prevalent. You know, I knew what to expect, so it's not that big of a surprise to me. It's annoying, but it's not that big of a surprise. Yeah, you see the tower down there has still got its red light on. Let's see if we zoom in here. I don't know if that's a radio tower or if it's like what the tower is down there. You can see the red light up there. And any other lights you see, those are solar lights. There's a lot of people that have solar. And then I had the battery backup light inside the house. So I'm very grateful to the architect and builder that thought to put that in the house. I don't know if it's code or what, but there's been some places we've lived in that did not have that. Yeah, we're grateful. Anyway, I'm going back out of here. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy the rain. It's cooler outside than it is inside. There's no air con going on in there. And it's kind of cooled off a little bit. It's only about 80 degrees, maybe 79 degrees out here, Fahrenheit. It's, what, 28 Celsius? 27? Somewhere around there. I don't know. Figure it out. Google it. Anyway. I'm going to sit out here and enjoy the rain and a little bit of a breeze we have until the power comes back on. Stay safe, everybody.